So sorry, I'm driving at the moment, so you won't get good visual on me, as I have to pay attention to the road, and you're attached to a thing, phone holder thing. So I wanted to talk about something though, because while I was on my drive for work, I was like, you know what? There's some, maybe I should bring some clarity to some situations. Let's talk about when you need to cut people off, right? Because it comes up a lot in my readings, in astrology, and all kinds of things. And I think it's very relevant to what's going on cosmologically too. So basically. Times that you should start cutting people off, I would say, would have to be when, one, you don't feel valued, right? You don't feel valued in your connection to somebody. Or if they're perpetual boundary crossers, right? Like you constantly say, I don't do this, I don't do this, I don't do this, and then they're like, hey, I know what you said, but you want to go do this, and you're like, I just said, and, or people who like to create drama or live in drama, right? Who always have something negative to say about somebody else. Like, they're so busy talking about everybody else's lives, they're not actually living their own. How annoying. I would say also, like, they're the well-intentioned people that you have to cut off, right? The people who enable your bad behavior. And I know that's a hard one. That was the hardest one for me, because those are the people I love the most. The ones that see me being shithoused, and they're like, oh, I love you. I love this. You're a whole hot mess. This is great, People who genuinely love you and genuinely care about your well-being are going to be, like, concerned, right? They're not going to be like, you know what, this is fine. Keep going. You want me to buy you another drink? You want me to hype you up while you go make an ass out of yourself, And it's not like we all haven't been guilty of that either, right? I've been that friend. Hell yeah, I've been that friend. I loved it. And I think a lot of this too takes personal accountability, right? Too, where we can be like, yeah, I've been this person and I'm making like an active choice to no longer embody these behaviors, right? Or to no longer be a certain way or whatever. Because when you want to change your life, you have to change yourself, right? And I'm not telling you like, oh, you got to change your core root of who you are. Obviously your personality stays intact, but your actions, your behaviors, your habits, even what you wear can really affect your energy. You see, like, I've seen so many dudes that they'll walk around in basketball shorts and they're cool with everybody, right? The second they put on a power suit, they're somebody else. What you wear affects you because of the symbolism of what we're wearing, right? So if you want to be taken more seriously in life, you have to start taking those actions, right? I'd also say, like, people who always need you to feel bad for them, right? It's one thing if it's like one or two things, but eventually people have to take responsibility for themselves, right? At some point, they have to have that kind of strength to take responsibility and be like, you know what? Who I am, what I live, this is on me, It's like, also people who are blame shifters, right? I find it so fucking hilarious. And I've actually like posted about this within the last few days. Like, that people, I'd be out drinking with these people every day, you know, not currently, but when I was. And we'd all, you know, we'd be out and they're like, man, these billionaires are making us all poor, and da-da-da. And it reminded me of the whole Mexicans are stealing our jobs bit, you know? And I'm like, I was a billionaire making you poor, right? You're the one buying their shit and making them rich, if anything. And the way I see it, you're sitting here paying like, what, $10 a drink? Drinking all freaking night? Buying drinks for other people? You know, making sure you're tipping? Doing all those things. And if you don't want to be broke, you would think that that behavior would stop, right? You would think that you'd be like, okay, maybe I should be more fiscally responsible. Maybe I should put something aside for myself that I don't touch, that isn't, you know, because if you, I see it like this, it's like a money phobia, right? And I've had it myself. For the second I touch money, I'm like, this can't stay in my wallet, I gotta spend this shit, you know, and I've been there, right? I'm so glad my 20s are over. That's all I gotta say. I'm fucking thrilled that they're over. I don't have to do all that no more. And it's like, and then you gotta cut off, you know, at some point, sometimes you gotta cut everybody off, right? And it's no longer about like, oh, this person is toxic or this person is toxic. It's not about that. Are you toxic in their presence, right? Do they like enable your toxicity, right? And that's where the self-accountability is, you know, self-awareness, the understanding, you know. It's like at some point we gotta recognize our own shit, right? And we have to ask ourselves, who the fuck am I when I'm around these people? Am I really doing well in life, or do I meet them when I'm not, right? Are they helping me to be more successful, to grow my business, to thrive? Or are they constantly trying to make me spend my resources, my time, my money, my energy on them so that I have nothing left for myself and my business, right? And it's not about having animosity. It's about understanding the reality of it. Like at some point we gotta be like, I'm important too. My dreams, my ambitions, they're important too. And having friends is cool, but if it's this expensive, then maybe I'm gonna go hermit mode for a while. You know, until I can afford having friends. And that's not out of hate, it's not out of spite, it ain't trying to make nobody feel bad about nothing, right? Leave people where they're at in life, because they're all on their own path and they're growing in their own way and they're coming to their own enlightenment, right? I don't judge any of those paths, right? I don't even judge the barflies, just, you know, I just say, you know, don't shift blame if you're feeling some kind of way, when you're living some kind of way, right? It's, you know, life is so expensive. If you have to spend anywhere from like 40 to 60 to 100 to however much dollars every time you hang out with your friends, and you need to get yourself ahead financially, maybe it's a good idea to put that shit on hold. And it's not because you don't love them. It's not because they're not great. It's because they're expensive, right? And you need your sanity. You need your time. You need your energy. You need your money, right? It's, you know, and it's not selfish. That's self-care. That's self-love. Self-preservation. And you know, a lot of these sacrifices that you're making for everybody else around you, well, they're not making those same sacrifices, right? Or they wouldn't, right? If they want to go hermit mode, you probably wouldn't make them feel bad about that, right? You'd be like, oh, you're moving up, you're doing your thing, cool, proud of you, keep going, you know? Like, oh, right now you need to focus on some shit, cool, I won't bug you. I'm gonna just leave you to it and, like, you know, hit me up when or if you can, you know? It's like this perpetual, like, boundary crossing that really gets to me, where if you, because, you know, I'm not even just talking about my own personal experience, but things I've seen with other people, especially as a tarot reader. When people are like, well, you know, I need to focus on paying off all my debts, and, you know, or I want to spend more time in my garden, or whatever it is, you know? And everybody's like, well, I think that's selfish, or, you know, why would you want to do that? Can I come? Can I be part of this? And it's like, sometimes people gotta do things on their own, right? And us as grown-ups, right? We have to let other people be grown-ups too. We have to respect their path. Because life is busy, right? We all got our own shit going on. And we can't demand time and energy from other people. That's not fair. Unless you're willing to pay them by the hour to hang out with you and to do these things, you know? Like, come on, make it. Like, why should people have to lose out on things to have friendships, right? Why should they miss out on their dreams, their goals, right? These same people who perpetually, like, want you to spend your time and energy and money, well, are they investing in your business ideas? Do they, you know, like, if you're going to be a tattoo artist, do they pay for the practice tattoos? Do they ask for discounts on your art? Do they ask for free art? Do they ask for free whatever, free beats, whatever it is that you create? Because that's kind of messed up. If they support you and they support what you're doing and they want to see you succeed, then you would think they'd want to invest in you because they believe in you, right? But rather than investing in you, they're taking advantage of you. And that's where you gotta draw a line, okay? Especially for the entrepreneurs out there. We all want to do nice things for our friends and family. We all want to be able to, you know, be like, yeah, I'll do these free tarot readings, da-da-da-da-da. Then they send their friends for free tarot readings, and everybody wants free tarot readings because one person didn't have to pay, right? And how messed up is that when you're trying to build a career for yourself, or you're trying to, you know, establish yourself? Because tarot readings take a lot of time and energy and meditation and a lot of extra things. And if my boss were to ask me to work for free for an hour, I'd laugh in their face. Okay? I'd laugh in their face. What makes your friends different? Right? Because they're asking you to work for free just because you like them, or just because they like you, or because you've known each other a long time. Well, that's not fair. You know? Would you ask somebody to work for free for you? Would you ask somebody, hey, will you come over here and scrub my toilet and make dinner and do all these things for free? Would you do that? Because that sounds like super dope to me if you just do that for free. You know, like, I don't feel like many people have that kind of audacity to ask that of another person, right? So You know, when you're setting your boundaries, you know, maybe you gotta make people not so comfortable with you. And it's not out of meanness, right? But they can't feel comfortable dancing on your boundary line, right? They can't feel comfortable taking advantage of you or trying to pull one over on you or sending their friends to also take advantage of you, right? Because, you know, it's like with ants. You leave one cookie out, and then the ants find out that you're there, then they're gonna go haul it back at their friends, and they're like, hey, guess what? Daddy's got cookies on the table, you better run right now. That's what's happening, right? Except it's humans, and they're not that different from ants, right? I know this is kind of a rant, but you know, like, this is a time of accountability. I've been telling people that for a couple years now. This is the age of accountability, where we're accountable for ourselves, and we don't have to take responsibility for other people, their feelings. You know, if they're gonna get their feelings hurt because you're like, you know what, actually I don't offer my services for free, then that's on them to feel however the fuck they're gonna feel about it. It's also on them to take care of their own emotional well-being, right? It's one thing to have a friend, a confidant that, you know, you cry to, but when it becomes so consistent and this becomes like an every time you see them kind of thing, eventually it's just draining, right? They don't ever have anything positive to say. It's just always, the world is out to get me, and I'm a victim of circumstance, and da-da-da-da-da. We're all victims of circumstance, brother. We all are. It's not like we're all walking around like, you know what, these circumstances are lit. Okay? No. We all have to learn to manage them, right? We have to learn to cope. We have to learn to, you know, figure out our own shit. And some of us have to learn it a lot sooner than others. Some of us learn it a lot later than others, you know? But living your life requires you to understand you are responsible for you and your kids if you have them. And that's it. Right? Everybody else can survive without you. Even if they cry about it, even if it sucks, even if they're your best friends or whatever, or, you know, they want to be your best friends, or, you know, you guys had really great times together. So, you know, but that's not, life isn't always about constantly having really great times. It's about learning how to navigate the mundane too, you know? A lot of people have, you know, like, reacted some kind of way to me because, you know, when I do my tarot readings, I tell you what the cards tell me. I am not going to pander to anybody's feelings. I'm not going to sugarcoat it or try to lighten the load. If Spirit wants you to hear a message, you're going to hear it. And if I don't tell you the message, then I'm going to feel it, right? Spirit's going to come at your boy. I don't deserve that shit because I'm trying to be nice. And you know, the thing is sometimes we need those other messages. Sometimes, sometimes we need to know. Sorry, there was a carpet in the middle of the freeway. You know, sometimes we need to hear the things that aren't always so peaches and cream, right? But we don't always get the outcomes we desire. And a lot of the times, it's our own expectations and our own sense of entitlement that is our enemy. you know, and that's a hard one to hear. I know it'll make a lot of people mad. And I'm not here to try to make anybody mad. I ain't here trying to like come off some kind of way, you know. I want you guys to have your happy endings, your good outcomes. I also like understand people have to do their shadow work. If you want to be a light worker, if you are a light worker, guess what? You're gonna get double shadow work. You're gonna learn how to navigate the darkness before you can shine, right? Like that's just how it is. As unfortunate as that is, as much as that sucks sometimes, we got to learn to navigate the darkness. We have to learn to integrate our shadows. You know, quit running from your ego. Quit trying to kill it. You can't kill your ego without killing yourself. You need to see the truth of the entirety of yourself with complete acceptance and love, right? And love can be tough love. I one time heard a fitness person on YouTube say, don't work out because you hate yourself. Work out because you love yourself, right? It is an act of love to exercise. You know how bad I hate exercising? You know how much that feels like punishment? It sucks, okay? It is not fun. I don't know. They are high on crack. They're high on their fucking pre-workout if they're gonna tell me that, oh yeah, I love exercise. This is the best thing ever. I would just want to spend several hours a day at the gym because that's super fun. Alright? It's not fun. It's discipline. Right? And discipline is not fun. But it makes you better. It makes you stronger. It makes you live longer. It actually helps you to withstand hardship a lot easier later in life, right? It's like, in my job, there's a lot of heavy lifting. I gotta lift these fucking batteries that are like super heavy. And one thing I learned from my job is that like the first day I was like, I'm gonna die. My arms are gonna fall off. Everything sucks. This is awful. I could never lift a 40 battery, right? Guess what I did today? I hauled 240 batteries from the warehouse into a van, right? I pulled the van into the warehouse, but I hauled them, okay? My back doesn't even hurt. That is what happens. You create endurance through that, right? Through perpetually exposing yourself to the hardship, right? And handling it well. It's like eventually those, you know, what seemed unbearable to bear, you couldn't do it. Couldn't carry that cross, right? Well, when you start doing it, you start it slow, and then, well, I didn't start slow. I didn't get that opportunity. But you know what I mean? Like, it's eventually I had to be like, you know what? It's fight or flight, you know? It's survival, sink or swim. And you will endure it. You'll endure all the hardships. Just gotta make your mind endure it first, right? You have to toughen up your mind. If you're still facing the same hardships and you're still not handling it well, it's because you're not practicing endurance. Practice endurance. Deal with a hard situation and don't react like you've been reacting. Don't make it other people's problem. How are you going to fight through this? How are you going to persevere? How are you going to endure? You know? How are you going to do it? And I promise you, you're going to feel so much more victorious when you do it on your own rather than needing everybody else to lift you up. It felt so much better to carry those 40 batteries by myself, just find out I had the wrong batteries, than it would have if I would have asked other people to help carry the load for me. It was a moment of victory. you know? So, yeah. But that's basically what I have for you. I just needed to ramble on. Namaste. I love you guys, and I will see you on the next one.